Yo, what's good YouTube, man? It's Gabriel with the Hustle Fan TV, man. Back at you with another video. At the content of the video, go smash that like button at the content of this channel. Go ahead and subscribe, man. Look, so Ravens just finished with another day of training camp practice, right? We're technically on week 2 of Ravens training camp, and you know how we're gonna do injuries, offense, defense, right? So injuries, let's talk about the guys that were out. Deontay Hardy, Keaton Mitchell, Adisa Isaac, TJ Tampa, Trayvon Mullen, Rashad Nichols, right? So, and then there was one injury that we were told about today, and that was Rashad Bateman, right? So let's talk about some of the guys on the injury report, okay? Deontay Hardy, John Harbaugh said that's kind of a soreness thing that he's going through right now, so nothing serious there. And then, you know, Keaton Mitchell, Adisa Isaac, TJ Tampa, those are guys that are still on the PUP list. And as far as Rashad Bateman, right? Okay, so with Rashad Bateman, him and Kadar Holman kind of got tangled up in a one-on-one about an hour into practice. It didn't seem to be anything foot-related or nothing like that. They're saying that he got some soreness, maybe he got hit in the rib or the stomach area, maybe got the wind knocked out of him, I don't know. But he didn't return to practice after that. John Harbaugh didn't seem too concerned about it, but we'll keep an eye on that story as more stuff comes out. But for right now, Harbaugh didn't seem concerned about it, but, you know, we know his track record with injuries, right? So we'll see. All right. And then Lamar talked to the press, right? So it seems like the big mystery about what happened with Lamar Jackson last week with the sickness and everything. He said he just caught a stomach bug, right? And if anybody's been through that, it will keep you down for a couple of days. You not feel right, you can give it a go, and you can't, right? So, but Lamar Jackson is back full practice. He looked great talking to the media. You know, he looked like himself again, right? You know, I respect his patience too. A lot of questions that are just very annoying, especially from Jamison Hensley, but you know, he always did a good job handling those kind of things. Yeah, so just a lot of redundant questions and things like that, but you know, he cleared it up about what happened with his absence, so we all good, full steam ahead. That part is hopefully behind us, you know, definitely for the rest of the season, hopefully, right? So anyway, all right, now offense, defense, man, let's talk about it. So on offense today, the star of the show was really Isaiah Likely, right? So it was saying Isaiah Likely had a busy day, was targeted frequently by Lamar Jackson, but he wasn't the only person today, right? So, you know, Mark Andrews scored a touchdown, Zay Flowers scored a touchdown today. So, you know, the guys that we expect to be in the mix did a good job of getting over for Lamar and making those plays for him, right? It's unfortunate that, you know, Bateman with a Bateman injury, hopefully he'll be back tomorrow and we can hear some more about that Lamar and Bateman connection, because I think on the weekend, it's like Lamar and Bateman was getting together too. So, you know, we just want to keep seeing that bug, because if we can get 4 offensive weapons going out for routes for Lamar, that's great, right? Now, more about Isaiah Likely. They said that he was targeted frequently during practice. You know, he's been the kind of one of the main guys, right? Especially when Lamar's been back practicing, okay? So I think the Ravens are going to go very, very too tight end heavy. This is kind of really the original offense that I thought they would run when Ty Monken was hired last season, right? You know, then they got Odell and they went more 3 wide receiver, 11 personnel. That just kind of shows the versatility of Ty Monken and different offenses he could run, right? But I think now with, you know, Bateman and Zay being your top 2 guys, obviously Zay being a number 1 kind of guy, right? We're going to see a lot of 2 tight ends, 2 wide receiver sets on the field, right? You know, I think back to the Patriots and when they had, you know, Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski out there on the field kind of causing havoc, and they were still an explosive offense while playing with 2 tight ends. So I think the Ravens can do that same kind of thing. And with Isaiah Likely, we just hearing every day, really throughout training camp, that, you know, I think Lamar Jackson meant to say, I think, you know, Isaiah Likely is a star. I've been telling you about Isaiah Likely from day one. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to contribute to the team and really help us out. So that's nothing but positive reports of what's going on with Isaiah Likely. We know Lamar Jackson loves to target his tight ends, those big targets over the middle of the field. And Isaiah Likely is not your average tight end. He can move. He has good wiggle. I think he can really beat corners on the outside if the Ravens want to put him out there. Not as a main thing, but, you know, as a mix-up, right? His advantages are definitely going to be going against linebackers and safeties. That's going to be his main advantage. But yeah, man, Isaiah Likely, one of the stars of the show today at practice, okay? For certain. Now, as far as the defense, now, all those days before when we was hearing about the defense getting, you know, 6 interceptions in a day, 5 interceptions in a day, that has slowly ticked down as Lamar Jackson has taken more of the snaps, right? But they still caught an interception today, and that was Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey now has 5 interceptions on Lamar Jackson so far in practice. Lamar Jackson joked during his press conference that, yeah, you know, I'm helping Marlon Humphrey with his hands. I'm helping him catch better, right? Throwing him these interceptions, right? So that's great to see. And then as far as two young guys that generate some pressure today that the Ravens are going to need this season, David Ojabo was said to have his best practice, multiple pressures, a run stop on Josh Johnson, and Tavius Robinson, right, a guy that had a really impressive mini camp, right. And, this kind of first news I'm hearing about him throughout training camp. Doesn't mean he was doing anything, right? But this kind of first thing I heard about him doing training camp. I think he's a guy that could take a step in season 2, right? So this Ravens defensive line could really be one of the strengths of the team once again, even dealing with the loss of, Jadeveon Clowney and guys like that. You're still going to hopefully have your Ojabo. We've been hearing about Oweh constantly, who's still in the backfield. Matabike, of course, right? Broderick Washington, Travis Jones. The list kind of goes on and on. Now, Tavius Robinson and David Ojabo get thrown into that mix. The Ravens have a really nice, deep defensive line, right? And I think that was probably a concern people might have had. But I think that the Ravens are going to be really good on the edge and really good on the defensive line just as a whole, right? So that's my thoughts about that. And then, we talked about Marlon Humphrey, right? I think that Marlon Humphrey is one of the Ravens' biggest X factors honestly this season, right? So when I was listening to the Ravens Lounge podcast, with Mink and Downing, they were talking about, the Ravens lost some players, but with Marlon Humphrey really not playing a lot last year, really not be able to do anything, it's like getting a new addition back to the defense, right? So you lose some players out there, but then you get a guy like Marlon Humphrey who, so far this training camp, like I said, 5 interceptions on Lamar Jackson. I've never heard of Lamar Humphrey getting his hands on the ball this much ever, right? Unless we're talking about, the season when he forced all the fumbles, right? So if he can take these interceptions and take them on the game day and have a 5-6 interception kind of season, that's huge for the Ravens, right? Because that hasn't been Marlon Humphrey's bag, right? If we've had one main complaint with Marlon Humphrey is that, yes, he can force a fumble, but he doesn't get his hands on the ball as far as interceptions, right? And that forcing the fumble thing is harder when you're playing more outside corner, right? So, it's more about can you get your hands on the ball, whether it's pass deflections or whether it's intercepting the ball, right? I thought Marlon Humphrey had a good season last year. It was clear that he was coming back from injury multiple times, so that kind of messed up his process and stuff like that. I think people were a little bit too hard on him. I don't think he was nearly as bad or not good like people were saying. I thought he had a couple bad moments that got highlighted because they was in big moments during the game, right? But overall, if Marlon Humphrey can stay healthy throughout the training camp process and enter the season as one of the Ravens' top guys once again, that's like having that's really like having a new addition like they was talking on the Lounge podcast, because we really didn't see the best of Marlon Humphrey for many weeks last year. He was hurt a lot. He was recovering, then he was hurt again. So if he can enter this season healthy, there's also some scope for this Ravens defense where I don't know if they'll be as good as last year, but I don't expect the drop-off to be drastic, right? I mean, if you look at last year, the Ravens were probably with a top 2 defense. With them and the Browns, right? They could still finish in that range, between, either the best or top 5, right? They can still finish in that range with who they have on this defense. So, but yeah, man, that's Ravens training camp report for today, man. Lamar Jackson's back feeling good. Rashad Bateman left practice. Injury's not serious, as we're being told right now. We'll see what happens tomorrow. As far as defense, Marlon Humphrey getting his hands on the ball, beautiful. And for offense, keep your eyes out for Isaiah Likely. We've been calling this guy a star since his rookie season, since his rookie training camp, right? This might be the season where he really breaks out, because the opportunities are going to be coming his way. All right. So don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video, man. Give me your thoughts about today's training camp practice, and we'll talk about it in the comments, man. But it's Gabriel, this is on Fan TV. I'm out.